Guys, yesterday I did a podcast, and the young guy that interviewed me from Sydney, I was super impressed with this kid. You know, he started this podcast. He's out there. He had Grant Cardone on his podcast when he came to town. It was clear the kid was working from home in his bedroom. And I was like, you know, how amazing is it, this world that we live in, that a guy who's, you know, just finding his way in life and business can start a podcast, can buy a microphone for $100 and start interviewing people from all over the world that are crushing it in business. And I just thought, this is so cool, right? Well, one of the questions that he asked me was, Adam, you know, like a lot of people out there, you know, they go to events and they read books, but they just don't get the results. You know, is it time management? Like, what time management tips do you have for people? And this was really interesting, right? Because I thought about it for a moment. I thought, you know, I said, look, you got to read this book. It's called The One Thing by Gary Keller. And, you know, that teaches, I think, the best time management book I've ever read. It teaches you to focus on one thing and to not fuck around with 50 different things, just to focus on one, find that thing and do it. And then I thought, you know, I said, you know what I think the real problem is? I think the real problem is that people are stuck in neutral. Like, they sit there, they sort of know where the gas pedal is and how to rev the engine, but they're stuck in neutral. They're not going anywhere because in their brain, they have not clicked in to full beast mode to like, I am going to do this shit, right? Instead, they sit there and they observe and they learn and they learn and they learn and they listen and they watch, but they don't fucking do, right? It's always like I like to say to people in my business, well done. Not well talked about, well done, you did it. So what is it? What separates people? And I said, you know, a lot of the time in our community, it's not like, there are certain times when you've got young entrepreneurs like who early on are hungry action takers. Like I was one of those. Then we see a lot of people coming into our program that don't really get serious about things till they have a kid. When they have a kid, all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, now I've got this baby and I'm in love with this baby and this baby's looking at me with its beautiful eyes and it's completely dependent upon me. And for the first time in my life, I've got to get my shit together because I've got to pay for this kid's education. I want this kid to have a great education. I want this kid to see the world. And unless I change my financial situation, nothing's going to change. So for some people, it's children. For other people, it's just innate. But the one thing, right, that I see people, and to just give you evidence of my case here about what I'm talking about, I just toured the country, right? I went round to Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, and Auckland. People bought tickets, so they actually paid money to come and hear me and Gary and Grant and everyone speak. They then paid for a day off work, and they went and got babysitters in some cases, and they sat and learned and listened about, for example, in my case, Amazon. On that Amazon stage, to give you an idea, I want to tell you how I compress time and how I work. Because most people, I watch them work, and I use the term loosely, and the time frames that they give to things, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why is this all taking so long for you? Like, why is it that, you know, it takes you 6 months to do something that I can literally do in 6 minutes? Now, I'm not kidding about this either, right? So, for example, I toured the country with Gary and Grant, and I got on stage and I held up a penguin, right? This stuffed penguin. And I got up and I said, this stuffed penguin, you can buy it for about $1 to $2 on Alibaba. It does about $10,000 a month. So I've just done your product research. I've just told you where to buy it. And I've told you that it's doing $10,000 a month on Amazon right now. So I told you where to buy it, I told you where to sell it, and I told you how much money it's making. I then went a step further and said, here's what I would do if I wanted to get into the penguin selling business. I would go to Upwork or Freelancer, and I would open up a job. I would hire a cartoonist or 2 cartoonists or 3 cartoonists for like $20 or $30 an hour. And I would say, I want the world's cutest penguin. Here's the top 5 selling penguins on Amazon. They need to be cuter than this. So if you could sketch me one up that's cuter, I would be super grateful. Once I've got the finalists, I would then put it up onto PickFu or put it up onto Google surveys, or I'd get my friends to come around and I'd say, which of those penguins do you reckon's the cutest, right? Then what I would do is I would go to Alibaba or I would go to Etsy, right? Even Etsy is where you get handmade stuff. Go and find people who make custom stuffed toys, even if you're going to make no money on it, right? Just to get like 50 of them made, right? Custom by somebody on Etsy, which is easy to do. I did this years ago for a thing. And just even if you pay $10 and sell them for $10, just to see if they would sell, right? Go to Etsy, find somebody who makes stuffed toys, contact 10 of them, find somebody who'll do it for you and make 10, 20 or 50 of them, or go to Amazon and contact a supplier, put a little design patent on it, cost you $300 through our lawyer that we use. Go to Alibaba, find a supplier and buy them, right? I told you where to buy them, where to sell them, everything. I told this to 16,000 people who are apparently serious about changing their lives. I told you $1, a product you could buy for $1 fucking dollar. $1. You could literally do everything I just said in under 1 hour. You could go to Upwork, write the brief, invite people to that brief, go to freelance or whatever. That take literally 15 minutes. 15 minutes. 2 or 3 days later, you'll have the sketches and the drawings. Once you've done that, maybe another couple of days to get the votes in for people. It takes 5 minutes to set up a PickFu contest, right? Pickfu.com, 5 minutes, right? And a couple of $100. You settle on one, right? You go to Etsy, you find some suppliers, you go to Alibaba Express, maybe an hour, maybe. And then I put an order in within 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now. And people sit there going, I think I need to read a time management book. I really think I need to do something about Amazon. For fuck's sake, people, do something, right? This is how lives are changed. Like, I get an idea and I implement. That's it, right? I had an idea for an app. I'm like, that's a pretty good idea. I'll write that down. That's why I carry this thing everywhere with me, everywhere, right? I write it down. That's a good idea. I go over to Squad Help. What kind of names are available on Squad Help for that kind of technology? I don't want to fuck around and come up with a name myself. I don't have time. I go into Squad Help. I go to where the business names are for sale, right? But people have already thought of amazing business names. They've already registered the .com. It's already done. I just go through and I go, I reckon those 10 are the best. I email 10 of my mates. I'm starting a company. It's going to be an app that does this. Which of those 10 names do you like? Here's a quick poll, Google survey, right? I'd make a decision. I buy the domain name. I write a brief out, right? I've written 2 of these briefs. This brief that I put out recently, it was, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half. I sat there for an hour and a half specking out everything I wanted this app to do. I then went to Google and said, top app development firms. It took me 30 seconds. I spent half an hour researching and I reached out with my brief to 5 of those firms. I've interviewed all 5. All of this, all of everything from the idea to writing the brief to buying the name to reaching out to those people is 100 minutes tops. 100 minutes. And people are there going, that's really interesting. I love what Adam's teaching me, but I'm not going to fucking do anything. I'm just going to sit there and, circle jerk under the table instead of doing the work. Does this make sense to people? Like, people expand shit, right? There's an old saying that a task will expand into the time you allocate for it. I have literally on these 2 ideas. Now, one of them is a $1 billion idea. It really is, and I'm working on it right now. I've probably spent 40 hours on it, and that's a lot, 40 hours. The other one, the app that I'm launching, I've probably spent 3 hours. In those 3 hours that I've spent on it, it is now quoted on, it's now brand name registered, the trademark is filed in the US, and I've got 4 people that are interested in partnering with me as a CEO on running the company, right? I'm talking hours to launch companies, and people are talking fucking years. I'm like, you can read a book on time management, or you can stop fucking jerking off and do shit, right? And the reason people don't do shit is because they're afraid they're going to fail, right? They're afraid they're going to get punched in the face, right? Let me tell you something. You are definitely going to get punched in the face, right? Definitely. Absolutely 100% you are going to be punched in the face. You know the best way when you learn boxing, I learned boxing years ago. They put you in the ring. They said, are you afraid of getting punched in the face? I said, yes. And they go, bang, punch you in the face. Are you still alive? Oh, yes. And you get out of the shop, bang, hit you in the face again. Once you've been punched in the face a few times, you're like, oh, that's not so bad. Now put your guard up, right? Put your guard up. Now get in and fucking fight. Stop fucking around, right? And that's where you learn. You get punched in the face. You get punched in the face every fucking day if you want to be an entrepreneur. You get punched in the face. The reason people don't get in the ring and actually put themselves in a place to be punched in the face, I get punched in the face every day. People come on Instagram and Facebook, look at the teeth on that guy. What a fuckwit. This guy's another scammer. What a douchebag. Fuck those people. I get punched in the face every single day. I'm going to show you something right now, how simple this is. The reason people are fucking useless and don't do shit is they don't have the most basic 101 things about life nailed, right? How many times have I said, write your goals down, right? How many times? How many times have I said, get compelling goals that when you look at them inside, you're fucking pumped, right? You're pumped about what you want to do. How many times have I said that? Now, how many of you have got them written down like this, right? I sat down with Joe in 2015 and I said, we're going to build a business and we need to put some basic metrics around what we're going to do. And this is the piece of paper that has been on my mirror in the bathroom. I ripped it off here for you this morning because I am just about to crack it. This bit of paper has 2 statements on it, right? That is what I had in my wallet. The same thing. I've got it in my wallet and I've got it stuck in my mirror where I clean my teeth. And it says, I want to have 10,000 students by December 31st, 2020, right? The second thing is I want 500 coaching clients by the same time, right? Now, when I wrote that down, I was like, that's a lot of money, right? That was in our business. If I achieve that, it's over $40 million that I would make if I did it. And I worked out what I could do if I achieved that goal. Do you know what, guys? We're just about to pass $50 million in 4 years. 4 years, $50 million. And that one business. And that's not all my businesses. 50 million. I just didn't fuck around. I went, you know what? I'm 40 years old. I'm tired of fucking around. I'm tired of aiming. I don't give a fuck if you want to punch me in the face. I'm going all in. And for the last 3 years, Joe and I did nothing but reliable. Nothing but. We woke up every fucking day saying we want to be the world's best Amazon training, period. No fucking around. What does that mean? It means don't bullshit people. It means don't be a dickhead. It means kick dickheads out of your community. It means step the fuck up and get in and do the work. Make investments where others won't. Hire a full-time videographer. Go and rent infrastructure. Go spend $100,000 on the fit out of a factory down in Burleigh Heads. Go and spend 50 grand on the air conditioning unit. Go and hang the lights. Go and spend $20,000 on a custom-made sports desk. Go and have a proper opening party. Go and run events where you drop $1 million in 3 days and now $2 million in 3 days for next time. Go and fucking step up, because if you want $50 million, you've got to step the fuck up. That's it, right? So that's how we did it, guys. I wrote it. That's it. That is what drove $50 million. 50, right? In 4 years. And people in 4 years go, I'm just going to give it a try. I'm going to, try. Try pick that pen up. Where is it? There. Try pick it up. I can't try to pick the pen up, right? I either fucking pick the pen up or I don't, right? You either do the work or you jerk off under the table thinking that you're getting laid, right? You've got to fucking get serious, guys, about this. This. If your goals are not written down, your brain is not focused, and an unfocused brain achieves jack shit, right? You don't have it written down. You don't have it in the universe. It ain't happening, people. It ain't happening. You have to build it, right? You have to put it out there. You need to create a compelling reason why. Don't make yourself have a fucking human to get motivated. Just write shit down, right? Write shit down. The other day, I went down to Byron last week with my friend Phil. Now, Phil's company, it's a $100 million company. If he was to sell it, it's $100 million to him, right? So that, the company, his shareholders and everything like that. He and I, that guy that we were hanging out, the caravan park. Yeah, that guy, right? You would never know. I'm wearing a t-shirt, pair of pants, renting in the caravan park, right? This shit ain't fancy. But when we were down there, I pulled out my old notebook from Bali with Rick Cowley, 2015. I'm sitting there with my notes, and Rick pushed me for a week on building a compelling future. And I wrote it down. And I hadn't reviewed some of it for 2 years now. And I wrote down in detail how I want my life to be, the future that I want, where I want to be, who I want to be on stage with. I have no fucking clue how I got to where I am here, where I'm like literally yesterday texting Grant Cardone, right? How the fuck did that happen? How am I even got a relationship with people like that? It started back then, right? And I reviewed that book and I was like, fuck me, the stuff I put in there, how much of it has come true? It's amazing. I don't know how. It just happened because I went all in. I put the car in fucking drive with a compelling reason why. I found that gas pedal and I sat on it. I sat on it, right? And Joe lived, right? Joe lived in the office, right? He's literally slept under the desk. Now, this is not good, right? I'm not, well, what's happened here? Hold on. Sorry, I'm getting a bit pumped up. He literally lived under the desk. He slept under the desk. That's not ideal, right? It's not what you should do, but it's what we did, right? I didn't have a girlfriend. I didn't have a relationship, right? Now that's it. I'm not saying that's healthy. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's what I did. People are like, how are you single? How did you not have a girlfriend, right? It wasn't like it wasn't shortage. I get Instagram messages every day, right? I get people hitting me up for that stuff all the time. I just literally did not have time. What am I going to do, right, in those first 3 years? Yeah, sure, I'll sit there and I'll be on my phone the whole time. I just literally, it wasn't in my zone. It wasn't even on my radar. It was, but it's a $50 million goal. A $50 million goal is not free if you want that, right? So, guys, what am I talking about here? I'm talking about with you guys, you need to not just rethink, right, timelines. You need a massive head shit and start to realize that this whole fucking illusion out there that everything's hard and a long way away. It isn't, right? When I met Grant in the hotel room, this is something that happened I haven't told people, right? I sat down and, we were talking, right? And Grant said, so what's made you guys so successful? How did you get to where you are? And I said, one of the things we do is we tell people, up front that Amazon's really hard and, it's a hard journey. So we really prepare our students for that. And as a result, they're strong. And he looked at me and he goes, I don't know why you tell people it's hard. And I go, well, because it's hard. And he goes, compared to what? Compared to what? And I'm like, he goes, dude, you know what's hard? Being broke for your whole life, that's hard. Being a fucking loser your whole life, that's hard. Not having choice is hard. Looking yourself in the mirror and knowing that you broke every single promise to yourself your whole life, that's hard. Not being able to help your kids when they need it, that's hard. Building a fucking Amazon business isn't hard. Tell people to wake up. Tell people to be strong. Step up, man. Play a bigger game. And I was like, fuck. Right? And he's right. He's right. So, guys, you are capable. You, not me. You are capable of so much more if you just fucking backed yourself and leaned in with your face forward saying, come on, motherfucker, hit me in the face. I do not give a single fuck because I am here to play the game. If you just adopt that attitude, if you got up at 4 a.m. and just started smashing out like, that's my idea, right? I'm doing it. I'm going in, I'm going to buy 1,000 penguins. I'm going to buy 100 penguins. I don't give a shit. Whatever your budget is, get the money out of your bank account and into motion. As Grant said, money is worth shit until it's in motion, right? So why the fuck are you hanging on to your money? I'm here getting my money and investing. The quote, one of the quotes we got back for the app that we're building, 600,000 US, right, to build this. This is one of the quotes. I didn't even flinch. I'm like, okay, if that's what it takes, I'm in. I'd rather push it in and get the best to do it than to sit on my money, right? I am going to make my money go to work. Now, I'm at a different scale to most people, but where you are, your money in your bank, if it's you're conditioned and trained that is my security, right? No, that is your fucking handcuffs. If you are not free, it's because your money is not working for you, right? The reason I'm getting so much shit done is because I'm paying people to do lots of shit where all the roads lead back to me, right? And my partners. We use our money to get an army of people working for us. You're going to work 8 hours today. I'm going to work 800 hours today because I have other people working for me. Does that make sense? You'll never fucking catch me if you're working 8 hours a day. You're done. You're fucked if you're chasing me down with 8 hours a day. I'll fucking see your 8 hours a day in the first fucking hour of today. You're done. And then I'll work all day and all night because my money is got other people working for me, building shit to bring the money back to me. Does that make sense? Okay, does that make sense, people? Is this helping? Right? When you are behind at halftime, and this is what I said to the guy yesterday, mate, everybody looks at me now and goes, holy shit, this guy, look at what he's done. He's successful, whatever. It's all a relative, right? I was trailing for the first 3 quarters of this game. Trailing. I was behind the whole first 3 quarters. You've just got to see the last quarter, right? Where I've done pretty well in the last quarter. You've got to get your money working, guys. You've got to start taking action. You've got to compress your time frame. Stop fucking around. Write your goals down. Even if it's on this is a shitty piece. You can see it's actually torn out of one of my journals. Look. It's just torn out of the corner. That's how fancy it is. No software, no goal setting app, no alarms and reminders and all this fucking bullshit. I just write down, this is what I want to do. I tear it off, I stick it on the mirror, and I say, let's get to work. That's it. Let's get to work. Put that fucking car in drive, my friend. Put your foot to the floor, and if you drive into a wall, we'll fucking get out and laugh about it because you will not die. It takes a lot of talent and fucking discipline to die of starvation in this country. You've got to be a real fucking hard worker to die of starvation here. It's almost impossible. So stop pretending like you're going to die. Stop pretending like you're going to live twice. Stop pretending like life's going to go on forever. It isn't. Tune in. Get up in the morning. Listen to that little voice inside. Write down what you want in your life and what you don't want. Write it all down, but especially what you want. When you first come out awake, when you're closest to spirit, before the world has got in the way, before all the shit that's urgent gets into your day, get a pen, get a paper, get a candle. Write down and just start writing. I want to do this. I want this. I want to feel this way. I want to go here. I want to do this. I want to do that. And just let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. Right? And then once you've got that, you've got the basis of a goals list. Put a circle around the ones that turn you on the most. Put a timeline on them. Once the timeline's on there, you've now got a goals list, right? And then create your chief definite aim. If I could do that, if I could do what's on this shitty little bit of paper, I would tick all the boxes in my life. And I went and did it in 4 years. Do you have your goals written down? Do you have a singular chief definite aim? Because I'm not just fucking telling you this shit. I take the Kool-Aid. I take the Kool-Aid. See what it says at the top? I forgot that was even there. Chief definite aim. Do you know where that's from? Think and Grow Rich. Written in the early 1900s. This shit ain't new. Go to work, guys. I believe in you. It's time you believe in you. You can take a punch in the face. You will not die. You will keep going. But the difference is I'm just doing the work. Have a great day. If you enjoyed that video, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you get all of our great videos as they come out. Thanks for watching, guys.